Donald and around the bags. Third to first, Edwards, Bloodworth, Davis, Godwin. Behind the plate that is actually behind the plate, Caroline Wong. And in the circle, Lexi Kilfoyle, as that one is hit straight up and right into the stands about 3 feet in front of us. And Addison Barnard, the center fielder, getting her opportunity. Starts out behind 0-1 here. Talk about Lexi and her mentality and her approach from an emotional standpoint. Is she a young lady that's going to show you a lot of emotion, or is she going to keep that all pretty close to the vest?
Lexi Kilfoyle definitely keeps it close to the vest. She is super confident and such a huge competitor. And I just think her presence is so calming. She never really shows when she's too high or too low. And I just think that's such an important role that she has out there on the field.
Again, everybody's going to follow pretty much what's happening in the circle. And Barnard fell behind 0-2 out of Beatrice, Nebraska, a senior. And batting .326 on the season. One of only 3 All-Americans in Wichita State history. That one's hit over the right side. And is it out of play? Just out of our view. It is not. Good job there. The Cowgirls slide over and get the out at first.
Yeah, this ball is hit super high and all the way over to the wall, and Carly just makes it over there and makes the catch. And that's a huge out for Lexi Kilfoyle, because Addison Barnard is one of the best hitters on this Wichita State team.
Yeah, that was a good job. Got all the way to the wall and had to reach back across, but able to fight it off and got the out there for a fantastic job on the play. 2 gone here to Taylor Solacek, the sophomore out of Bennington, Nebraska, batting .231 in the 3-hole for Coach Brett Benner. And Kilfoyle trying to make this a 1-2-3 inning. Count evens at 1-1 after the big swing by the right fielder.
Yeah, Lexi's showing that high velocity early. Taylor Solacek was just too late on that last swing.
So the count is 1-1, and that one fought off. A little bit of a defensive swing. Godwin is there, race to first. Godwin will win that battle, and the Cowgirls will sit down the Shockers down in order. We move to the bottom half here in Stillwater. The Cowgirls will start with the third baseman. In the circle will be Alex Aguilar for the Shockers. 3-1 on the season, has a 9-8 strikeout to ball ratio. And what do we know about this young lady?
Yeah, Aguilar is going to work in the low 60s. She really likes to use her off speed to disrupt the hitter's timing, and she kind of likes to work side to side to these batters.
Comes in with a strike there to Edwards, and we've told the story of Edwards a lot over the years. I mean, this is, I should say over the last year, she's just a sophomore, but came in as a 17-year-old, should have been a senior in high school, but graduated, came to Stillwater. Didn't just make the roster, made the starting spot last year, mostly in the outfield, and now starting at third for Oklahoma State. She, very talented young lady.
Yeah, she's definitely very versatile, and she hits like a veteran, and it just amazes me all the time.
There's one that's going to spin off the left, but good job of Bailey, the left fielder, to track that one down for the first out here in the bottom of the first. Take a look at the defensive lineup for the Shockers across the outfield. Urban, Barnard, Solacek. Across the diamond, Nelson, Hoekstra, Wong, Seaton, and behind the dish is Lainey Brown. One gone here in the bottom of the first, as that one is hit into the backstop for strike one. So that young lady, Claire Tim. Claire Tim, the left fielder, one of a couple of young ladies still trying to earn that spot full time. She falls behind here 0-1. That one is hit right back to the first baseman. Seaton can't field it. It gets off her glove. And that should be an error on the first baseman, Seaton. But a well sharp hit ball by Tim.
Yeah, Claire gets around on this ball and kind of just beats it straight into the ground. And the first baseman's seat, and it just pops right out of her glove.
Tried to close on it, couldn't get it to, and initially or officially, it is a hit. So got to bring up Carly Godwin. And the Cowgirls have runners on, have a runner on early in this one. Godwin, a freshman out of North Carolina, batting .355 on the season. And the changeup out in front of that one, and count evens at 1-1. You've been to all the Cowgirl games this year. You've seen a lot of games, been in a lot of places where there's neutral sites and lots of games being played. And 1-1. This is outside. You said last time that pitch count, or the pitch clock rather, is out there in the outfield, and it's very prevalent. But so far, it's not been an issue this year. You haven't really seen that called, I guess. Yeah,
I haven't seen any violations so far on the timing piece, but I definitely feel like it's moving the game along faster, just having it out there and visible to the pitchers and the batters and just keeping everything moving along.
So as a prolific hitter as you were, do you think that would bother you more as a hitter to have to get back in there and be ready, or more as the pitcher trying? Obviously it could be an individual basis, but would you feel rushed with that clock?
I personally wouldn't feel rushed. I think it's plenty of time to kind of reset and get your routine and get back in the box.
That one is hit fairly well, but underneath it is Solonchek in right field for out number 2, and Tim will have to retreat back to first base with 2 gone here in the bottom of the first. Shockers went down in order. The Cowgirls have a hit, and the 4-hole hitter is Caroline Wong, a senior out of Paris, Tennessee, batting .386. And that one is hit, got underneath it, and coming over is Wong, and Wong was out. Wong on the play on both sides of that one. 0-0 here at the bottom of first in Stillwater. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is not a team that has to win their conference to get in anymore. This is a team that gets at-large bids because they have been so good over the last several years. As we take a look at the leadoff hitter here in the second, that's Bailey Urban out of Omaha, Nebraska. Urban, the designated player in the lineup. Excuse me, the left fielder in the lineup. And there's a pitch. It's a little low and away. Count 1-1. You know, you had a chance to tell us that in fact, Coach told us this earlier, and you said you remember it last year. She was actually the team representative for Oklahoma State in the Women's College World in Oklahoma City last year. She was on the selection committee, so she was a part of that as that was hit to Bloodworth, excuse me. They made the change, and Bloodworth flips it over to first in time. But so you guys got a chance to get to know her a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. She was with us every step of the way at the World Series last year. I specifically remember sitting in like one of the hallways in the back of Hall of Fame Stadium and just talking to her about our games that we have been playing and just hearing her talk about the game. It was really interesting, and it was really cool to see and like hear her perspective.
That one is hit by the catcher Brown into left field, and there's the first hit of the night for Wichita State as Brown has a single, and it's a good job here. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, Brown just opens up on this pitch. It's low in the zone. She goes down and gets it and is able to drive it out to left field. And Claire Tim does a really good job getting this ball in and keeping her to a single there.
Gets it back in, and one on here with one out in the top of the second for the Shockers. And that ball just off the plate for ball 1. To the first baseman, Mila Seaton. out of Tonganoxie, Kansas. Batting .292 coming into this one. And she fouls that one into the dirt for strike one. Yeah, you know, again, Christy Breadbender, when I said to her, you know, you're the winningest coach all time, and she said, yeah, that just means I've been here longer than most. And I asked her, I said, okay, coach, you swept the regular season last year against Oklahoma State. You were on the selection committee. When you found out you were coming to Oklahoma State in the regional, a team you had already beaten, were you excited? And she said, absolutely not. I knew how good this program was. We'd already beaten them twice. We had beaten Nebraska twice. We knew that that was going to be tough to beat either of those two teams 3 times. So I think the fans for Wichita State were excited. But she certainly, as a head coach, analyzed it and said, not exactly where I would have placed this if I had had a choice. She understood how tough that your team was a year ago.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a really good point. It's always a battle between Oklahoma State and Wichita State, and you can never be for sure, even though you won the past 2, that it's going to go your way that 3rd time.
Cowgirls won that one 6-0, and there is Mila Seaton, the first baseman. She takes one off of the elbow guard, and she'll trot down to first.
This pitch from Lexi Kilfoyle is just a little too inside and hits Mila right on that elbow guard.
So a couple of runners on the banks for Wichita State here. And the top of the second. One hit by pitch, 1 gone. And a chance to resume what they did a year ago. That one's off the plate for ball 1. To Caroline Talent, the junior out of Jamestown, Tennessee, batting .278. Cowgirls won that game in the regional 6-0. But the series between these two since Coach Kenny G has been here at Oklahoma State is a narrow 11-8 margin for Oklahoma State. But when you look at the series overall, it is very lopsided as these two teams have faced each other. This is the 104th time these two teams have played one another.
I think that's just a testament to how well Coach Breadbender has done with this Wichita State program to take them and, you know, get them ready to compete against Oklahoma State and start winning those games and making it even is really impressive.
Again, 11-8 over the last 19 is Oklahoma State. So Coach Breadbender's team, again, won 2 out of 3 last year. And it definitely has been elevated since she has taken over. Appeal did not swing, and the count evens at 2-2. And clock down to 3 there. That one misses. 3-2. That was a little bit extra time in between pitches. That's about as close to getting down to 0 as we've seen. And it would seem Lexi's kind of trying to gather herself a little bit right now in the circle. It's a big pitch here, huh?
Oh, for sure. That one just missed, too. That was a really good take by Caroline Talent.
And that one she didn't take. Big swing. Strikeout in the first of the day for Lexi Kilfoyle.
Lexi locates this ball perfectly on the lower inside corner and gets her to swing through it. That was a really great at-bat, though, by Caroline Talent to keep that going.
So Wichita State would dearly love to not strand a couple here and put some pressure on Oklahoma State early. And, wow, Sierra Hoekstra just turned and went down, and she is in grimacing in an obvious.
Conference play better, but you know, also makes it easier for them to get a bid.
No doubt about it. I mean, it just makes you a better team. Sydney Sinnen is how you say this young lady's name, and she will enter the lineup with 1 strike. And that pitch just off the plate and goes 1-1. So again, very important part of the game too. A couple of runners on for Wichita State, and Sinnen comes in a very difficult situation. There's a called strike.
Yeah, Lexi Kilfoyle is doing a pretty good job so far, just locating her drop ball in and out. She's not leaving a lot of pitches over the plate, but the one that she did got hit pretty hard down the left field line.
Coach Bredbender, I know that's a substitution, but she was not happy that Sinan had that take. Wanted her to compete in there and said, let's go. Now, maybe she was having a conversation with the umpire too. Maybe she didn't like the actual call. I'm not sure. A little bit of a conversation there. Now we're back to it. Here's the 1-2. That one swung on, and there's strikeout number 2. So runners at first and second, but became very anti everything that's going on and what you see right there.
I mean, maybe Coach G just has, you know, he's just trying to be a trendsetter here. I don't see anybody else really wearing glasses like that, so maybe he knows something we don't.
Undoubtedly, he is a trendsetter, and so trying to figure out Michaela Wark, the shortstop, is coming up, but we've got some things. I think we're finding out what they moved some kids around, so they changed it up. So Solacek ended up going to short, and then Sinan went to right field, and so there's the substitution. Made a couple of changes there defensively to Coach Bredbender to get this one situated and ready to go. There's a look at the new shortstop. Solacek again moved from right to short, and Sinan went to right field, and now we are set. And 1-0 the count here to Michaela Wark. Check swing foul back into the backstop. Out of Frisco, Texas, a sophomore, had lots of power as a freshman and already 4 home runs this year, batting .343 in that designated player spot today for Oklahoma State in the lineup.
Yeah, Michaela Wark just picking up right where she left off last year, really showing her power. I believe she already has 5 or 6 home runs so far this year.
Did a great job for Oklahoma State, and very powerful young lady. That one is hit to third. Nelson makes a nice play. Underhand flip across the diamond for out number 1.
That was a great play. Nelson made that look really easy, but Michaela Wark smoked that ball in the 5-6 hole, and she just made a really good snag.
Well, you're right. She slid over, showed good read off the bat, made a nice play, and then flung that ball across very, very quickly as Rosie Davis will come in. Davis, the second baseman. Davis batting .449 on the year, takes ball 1. You know, last year, McKinley, one of those 3 All-Americans. Only 3 they've ever had here, as I mentioned, Barnard and Lucas, who's out for the year. Barnard, a senior on this team. There's strike 2. And McKinney, who was Sydney McKinney, great last year. Started all 244 games of her career, and she plays professionally in a league that you play professionally in.
Yes, I actually got to know her pretty well last summer. We got pretty close over at Athletes Unlimited, and still just really impressive.
There's a strikeout to Davis as we see this one, and see what happened here.
Yeah, Alex Aguilar locates his pitch off the plate on the outside corner and gets Rosie Davis to fish for it.
McKinney, by the way, continuing her coaching career. She's an assistant at Marshall now. And so the Coach Bredbender coaching tree starts to branch out a little bit. 2 gone here in the bottom of 2. And Cowgirls bring up the right fielder, Lexi McDonald. At 1-0 here. That one's across for a strike.
Yeah, so far in this game, Alex Aguilar has done a really good job moving the ball side to side. It's really difficult as a hitter to go against a pitcher who's comfortable throwing it in, but also can get the strike away because you just never know what to expect.
That off speed across for called strike 2, 1 and 2. Which is tougher, in and out versus up and down as a hitter? Both hard.
Both are hard. Personally, I think in and out is a little tougher, but I'm sure plenty of other batters would say that up and down. I think it just kind of depends on your personal strengths.
Aguilar ran that one off the plate, out, and the count even at 2 and 2. That one is spun back into the backstop, and the count will stay 2 and 2. Not a lot of wind here. Boy, there's not very many times in Stillwater, Oklahoma, there's not much wind, but there is very little wind. And that shot proves it. 2-2. That one's hit back up the middle. That's going to be a good base hit for Lexi McDonald. That's a good AB for her to fight off a couple of strikes and then come back and get the single.
Yeah, Aguilar comes back in on Lexi McDonald. I think that's what she was waiting for. She kind of fought off those outside pitches, fouled them off until she got something more on the plate, and she hit it right back up the middle.
So the Cowgirls have another runner on. That's the second hit of the night for the Cowgirls. As the shortstop will come in, and Aguilar just missed there to Megan Bloodworth out of Cordell, Georgia, a junior. Batting .206, 9 RBIs, and a couple of home runs on the season. Wichita State had one runner in scoring position. That's all we've seen so far, as that one is hit hard and sharp into the alley foul down that left base side. Count evens at 1 and 1. Between these two teams, they have played 12 top 25 opponents. There's a called strike 1 and 2. Cowgirls are 3 and 2 versus the top 25, and Wichita State 2 and 5 versus the best teams in the country. Both teams not afraid to put a lot of top 25 teams on their schedule, the 1-2.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think we mentioned this last week, but if you want to be the best, you have to play the best. And these teams are definitely battle tested and just preparing themselves the best they can heading into conference play this weekend.
Wichita State lost to Auburn, but that was an extra innings and 8. They ended up beating Arkansas 3-1, number 15 team in the country. And this one will come to an end as Nelson gets underneath that one. And the count
innings and ended up losing that one, but we were definitely excited to get another shot at him in regionals.
You know, and that's interesting because I asked Coach, and again, she was so funny. She was so emphatic as Krista Nelson steps in, and she said, absolutely not. I was not happy to go back down there. What about you guys? Was there nerves, or was there confidence that, okay, this will be completely different now that it's postseason? That one's going to be hit back to Davis. Davis uses that speed, makes the throw in time. That's a heck of a play by Rosie Davis.
Yeah, Rosie charged this ball hard, and she definitely needed to because
Nelson.
the batter definitely had a lot of speed going down to first, and she throws it on the run and is able to beat her.
So you remember the emotion knowing you were going to play them?
I'm not going to lie. I was excited to play Wichita State again last year. I know a lot of people were doubting us. Like, all the media thought Wichita State was going to win the regional, and we were just so excited to get another chance and show everybody that, you know, we could still beat them.
Guys hosted the regional, won it, hosted the super regional, won it, and went to Oklahoma City and got a win down there as well. 4th consecutive trip to Oklahoma City as Wong 0 for 1 tonight. Are you a uni kind of player, kind of kid? Did you care about the uniforms?
Yes, I did. I was.
Tell me what you think of these.
They're okay. I don't think they're our best. I think all of our uniforms are pretty cool. They're all super nice, but this one is not one of my favorites, I have to say.
You know, it's funny because, I mean, they do stand out, but they are definitely, you know, a little bit different. And but did you guys, did you know whether you played better or worse in certain uniforms? Did you make that association?
No, not really. I think we kind of had a little superstition last year with our all orange. We loved that uniform last year. We wore it when we won regionals, and then we wore it again when we won super regionals. So we did have a little bit of that. But the other ones, no, not really.
That one is hit. Davis backhands it, throws in time, got the speed, got the arm, and the Cowgirls have got 2 down here in the top of the third.
Yeah, Rosie Davis now, she's just showing off now. She goes and makes this backhanded grab up the middle and just does a great job on that play. This ball was hit very hard, so that's a tough play.
And that's a nice job by Godwin, too. You know, it looks routine, right? But she had to reach across, back her body, and make that catch, and make sure to secure the out. And that is out number 2. And in the first pitch, Edwards throws it across, and that's it for the Shockers in the top of the third. 0-0 in Stillwater. This is Big 12 now. And Texas moves up to number 1, Oklahoma number 2. So this conference continues to be very, very good, very top heavy, and it's going to be a fun race down the stretch. Others will get involved. I know Baylor, Kansas, other teams want to be involved in that. Iowa State, as Jillian Pillard, batting .321, will step in for the first time tonight. But those top 3 teams have been consistently 1, 2, and 3 in the league for the last several years.
Yeah, the competition in the Big 12 is just such a big, one of the main reasons that I came here last year, like seeing Oklahoma State, Texas, and Oklahoma be the final 3 teams in the World Series. Like, I was like, I want to be a part of that. And I'm sure so many other transfers that have come into Oklahoma State have thought the same way.
You know, as that one's fouled back, Coach Bredbender said to us earlier that, you know, Kenny has done such a good job of letting kids come here find the joy of the game again. She goes, that's exactly what we want to do. He's done it. And she said, I didn't have a Samantha Shao, and I didn't have a Miranda Ellish, but our players, and Wong was one of them. She said, that's the kind of player they've come here. We've kind of giving kids an opportunity, as that one's going to be hit to Hoekstra, and that's an out, so she gets underneath it. But she said, we do the same things, and I admire Kenny for the way he's done that the way he's built it, and that's kind of what we want to do. We want to mirror that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is just the culture of the program and making it a place where everyone can come in and be themselves and just flourish in their own way. And personally, I would love to play for Coach Bredbender or Coach G. They both seem to have the same sort of thought process on that.
She said we've gone, like I said earlier, gone head-to-head several times with the Cowgirl program and haven't won our share of battles as of yet. Talon Edwards, the third baseman, 0 for 1, flew out her first time, and back to the top of the order for the Cowgirls here in the bottom of the third. And that one's off the plate. 2-0.
Yeah, Aguilar just continuing to place the ball on the corners. She has not put anything over the heart of the plate for these Oklahoma State hitters to swing at.
2-0. That one is hit into left field again, and again Bailey is there to make the stop. Good read off the bat, good jump, and is able to get there in time. Talon's lined out twice now to left field.
Yeah, it's almost the exact same thing she did last time she came up. So, you know, she kind of just drives this outside pitch straight to the left fielder.
So 2 gone here, and the Cowgirls have had a couple of hits, a couple of base runners, but really haven't threatened much offensively as of yet. And you got to give Aguilar a lot of credit here, as Tim's 0 for 1, but Aguilar's come in here, a player that, you know, they didn't know for sure who they were going to throw, if they're going to throw their ace, if Chloe was going to be in the circle, but she's come in here and done a very good job so far.
Yeah, she's just placing her pitches perfectly, and I think that's why she's being so successful, and she's getting ahead in the count, And I remember facing her last year, so I knew she was definitely going to compete today.
Batting .473 with a .727 slugging percentage is Tim, and she hits that one midway down the line and left for strike number 2. Now, the Cowgirls have not hit her as hard. Now, I think the Cowgirls anticipated that they were going to throw Chloe, a rise ball thrower, and they were anticipating trying to stay off of the balls rising up out of the zone. So a little bit of a switch by Coach Brett Benner, which seems to have paid off so far.
Yeah, definitely maybe a little bit of strategy coming into play. You know, when you're scouting a team and you see maybe that they have a pitcher with more innings and a lot of strikeouts, maybe they anticipate that pitcher.
Absolutely, and another soft fluid hit into center field. Barner makes the play. It's Oklahoma State Cowgirls, but the results, again, the talent. Kenny Gajewski's done a great job of spotting talent, recruiting talent, and continues to be very good in that regard. There's a attempted bunt for Solacek, and she missed it. Now at shortstop, was in right field, moves to short. Batting third. And 0 for 1 tonight, and 0 for 1 in this count. 0 for 2, there's a big cut right there. And
yeah, I think she's just trying to keep the defense on their toes, trying to get that quick bunt in, maybe with the corners back, and then move them in a little bit and take a huge cut. They'll never know what to expect.
That one's off the plate. Night has fallen on Stillwater as this one started in late afternoon, early evening, and now into the night sky as the Cowgirls and Wichita State do what they always do, play really good ball games when they play one another. That one is fouled down the line. 1-2 the count. You guys had a visitor yesterday. A national radio star was in town by the name of Bobby Bones.
Yep.
Right? And he came out and he kind of went through the drills a little bit.
Oh yeah, well, they tried. I should say. No, it was a lot of fun. Coach D was hitting them ground balls, and they were taking at bats off Lexi, and it was just a ton of fun.
He also went over with Josh Holliday's baseball team. It's part of a program and show that he will put together and be released. We won't give all the secrets, but I don't think he had a lot of success against Lexi from my intel. As there's a strikeout, and way out in front of it right there was Solacek. As we see her reach for this one and come up empty.
Yeah, Lexi just gets her to chase. I believe this is an off-speed pitch, and not even close to being a strike, but she gets her to swing.
Now, is it okay if I say that you're not a country music fan? And maybe
yeah,
you didn't
could say that.
You didn't know who Bobby Bones was.
I feel bad, but I definitely, yeah, that's true.
That one is hit Bailey into right field there, and nothing wrong with that, obviously, but it's awesome having Bobby Bones to go around. He's been doing it all across the country, and came to Oklahoma State, spent some time with the men and the women over the last 48 hours or so. What was your walk-up song? What kind of music are you into?
I mixed it up over the years. I had like a couple of, I guess, rap songs, but like not really rap, and then some pop songs. Has some Miley Cyrus in there. I don't know. I like to mix it up.
Did you mix it up within the season? And Lainey Brown, the catcher, is 0 for 1. And how you were hitting, did that depend on whether you left it as it was?
No, not really. I mean, you pick it at the beginning of the year and kind of just ride with it throughout the season. But no, not very superstitious about that, actually.
Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana. Do you know who Hannah Montana is?
Yeah. It's like my favorite show growing up, so I had to.
Okay, I was in your wheelhouse. I was making sure.
Yeah.
1-1 to count here to Bailey. And there's a called strike. Wichita State has had runners on, like Oklahoma State has had a couple. Had a hit by pitch, a couple of singles, but
yeah, nobody's really just had that clutch hit yet and been able to bring any runs around.
the pitchers have done a very good job in that regard, and Myers swing and miss, and the second strikeout of the inning.
Yeah, Lexi goes to the low inside drop again, and is just getting these batters to chase out of the zone.
Now batting the first base.
Very difficult to pick up where that ball is going and almost guessing a little bit. That's the fourth strikeout of the ball game for Kilfoyle, and again second in this inning. And she starts ahead of the batter right here with a strike to Mila Seaton, the first baseman. Got hit on that upper part of that elbow guard her first time up. That one just off the plate, 1-1. Cowgirls have been in the polls for nearly 300 games of play. That one is hit. Tim able to get underneath it, sizes it up, and there's out number 3. We've through 4.5, and we're still all tied up 0-0. And still speaks to the volumes of how good the SEC is and how good the Big 12 is.
Yeah, for sure. It's been really cool to see all those teams in the top 10 and how Oklahoma State has just been competing against every single one of them. And we're excited to see how the rest of the Big 12 season goes.
Absolutely. It gets underway next week. First pitch, Godwin to Wong. Wong on her knees makes the throw, and they want to review it. Stacy is telling Coach Kenny G to review it, and they in fact will. Let's take a look at it here.
Wow, this is a great play by the second baseman, Wong. She lays out to her backhand side and is able to still make that throw over to first.
Yeah, I think she's safe, though. I think she's safe by a pretty good margin right here. Yeah, foot's down, ball still out of the glove, and I think the Cowgirls will win this challenge. Now, this will be your first declaration. Will they win this challenge?
Yes, I think so. I think they will. I mean,
I think you see the ball still sitting on the outside of the glove coming in when that foot lands. And those are X-ray vision glasses, so he saw it from way over there on third, I'm pretty sure.
He knew to review it right away.
Well, yeah, Stacy immediately started putting her hands up, and you know, it's kind of that for those of you that are old enough to remember Princess Leia and the buns on the ears, that's what it looks like. The headsets go to the booth, and let's take at it and look at it again. Here's the. You're right, though. That's a great play by Wong.
That's a great, yeah.
Kind of hard to see from there, but here, when you slow that down, I think you can see that the foot is on the bag. Here's a great look at it here. Foot's on the bag, ball is still outside the glove. Yeah, I think this shouldn't take too long, I don't think, and the Cowgirls should have their third hit of the ball game.
Yeah, Wong makes such a great play on that. It's really hard when you're moving up the middle as a second baseman to turn around and make that throw to first and still get the out.
And they do overturn the call, and Godwin has been very efficient as of late.
Yeah, she has now reached safely in 14 straight games, and she has a 5-game hit streak going.
Been fantastic, and you know the Cowgirls. I don't want to jinx the no-hitter, but the Cowgirls have scored first in every single game this year, and that's still up for debate in this one. And Wichita State would like to do something about it and prevent that, but that is an amazing stat. 19 games this year, the Cowgirls have scored first every single time. That one's off for ball 1 to Caroline Wong, the catcher, batting .379. For 1 her first time up. Rounded out to second and trying to make something happen here. That one's hit sharply into left, but again, Bailey is there. Hit right on the button, but Bailey able to get underneath it for out number 1. Bailey's had a lot of activity over there in left field.
Yeah, they've hit 3 or 4 hard line drives out there, and she is just eating them up.
You know, and it's interesting, it's happening with lefties and righties. I mean, they've pulled it that way. They've pushed it that way from the left-handed side, left side of the plate as well. So doing a good job keeping the ball in the park tonight.
Yeah, I feel like some people might think it would have been a good idea to try to bunt the runner at first over to second there, but with how well Caroline Wong has been swinging the bat, I think it was smart to let her hit, and it just didn't work out this time.
That brings up the shortstop, Michaela Wark. Did that again, didn't I? Designated player. That's what I get for following that the original lineup, but Cowgirls used a flex and made some substitutions right as the game began, as Kenny Gajewski can often do. And so Wark 0 for 2, hits it right back to the pitcher, and we'll go to 1 for the automatic. And Godwin will move over to second.
Yeah, Aguilar doing a great job. She gets ahead on Michaela Wark 0-2, throws this pitch on the outside corner. It's a really good pitcher's pitch. I think she didn't get a good handle on it at first, so decides to get the safe play at 1.
So the Cowgirls have a runner in scoring position for the first time tonight. And the Cowgirls have Rosie Davis, who has been incredible with runners in scoring position, batting .643. This one, though, is going to be hit to Hoekstra, and Hoekstra will make a routine play, and the inning is over here in Stillwater. It's 0-0. The Cowgirls and the Shockers hit a good
pop is very impressive for them.
Yeah, again, I just can't say it enough. You know, there's a time when certain conferences, you have to win the conference tournament to get to the NCAA tournament, and Wichita State has elevated themselves above that. This is a program that's going to get at-large bids now, and so they have definitely turned the corner with Coach Brett Benner and what they've done the last several years. 3 straight NCAA regionals, trying to get into a super and turn the corner there. Count 1-1 here. Caroline Talent, the designated player, fouls that one off. And the count will go to 1-2. You know, what gets lost in a game where there's not a lot of offense sometimes is that young lady right there. I mean, Lexi Kilfoyle, you know, we see what's happening with Aguilar. But Lexi Kilfoyle has really done a good job of moving that ball around, too, and keeping most of Wichita State's batters off kilter tonight as well. She's
doing exactly what she's been doing so far this season, and you can see exactly why her ERA is so low. She's just moving the ball so well in and out, hitting the corners. She throws a high fastball to offset the batter's eyes, and here she goes again with that low inside pitch. Maybe not even a strike there, but she's getting them to swing at it because she's tunneling her pitches so well.
Has struck out 3 of the last 5 batters. That's her 5th strikeout in the ball game. And she starts with a strike here again. And that's the other thing. Right now she's starting to stay ahead of the batters as she is coming right after them as Sinan, who came in after the injury, now out there in right field and batting 167. She struck out the last time up. Is that right? Yeah. So that is again, we're just seeing her keep everybody off kilter. And but as a pitcher who's pitching this well, you love the pitcher's duel to some degree, right? But at what point do you look at your teammates and go, hey, can we get a little run support here?
Yeah, the pitchers are doing great, but they're also getting so much help from their defense. Both teams so far tonight have had solid defense. We've had some really nice plays. So the pitchers are doing their thing, and I think, you know, so both teams are kind of just waiting on that clutch hit.
And Carrie's having a great night. The new pitching coach, first year, Carrie Eberly, former Cowgirl, Virginia Tech transfer. And she's loving what she's seeing with back-to-back Ks here. Lexi's just getting stronger as the night has gone on. Let's take another look at this strikeout, her 6th of the ball game.
Well, Lexi goes back inside with this pitch, and she throws the ball so hard. I think the batter there is just can't catch up to it.
You know, I've asked you this before, but I mean, when someone throws as hard and can hit every quadrant like she can, how do you pick it up to know whether to hit, whether to swing or just let it go?
That's what makes it so difficult as a batter, hitting off of pitchers like Lexi Kilfoyle, because you know they can hit all of their spots, and you just don't expect, you have no idea what to expect when you're in the box. And she also has that off-speed pitch that she uses occasionally to disrupt your timing. So it's very hard to pick it up, and that's what makes her so great.
That's the unfair part, right? You've pounded the zone, then you come back with that off-speed. It's just not even fair, as that one misses 2-1. And, you know, again, as a batter, you know, obviously it's about hand-eye coordination. It's about your eye talent as well. It's your discipline at the plate. But sometimes that pitcher can move it so well, you're just up there. It comes down to repetition as well, as Edwards takes another soft roller, throws a little high, but Godwin's able to reach up, make the play. And Lexi Kilfoyle continues to do what she's done all night long. Good season. So this is a really fun and important time of the year because all the games matter so much.
It's wild that conference play is already here. I think with the extra teams in the Big 12, we had to start a couple weeks earlier, so it seems like this pre-conference season went by so fast.
Very much so, as Lexi McDonald takes ball 1. The right fielder for the Cowgirls. And she takes ball 2. Batting .389, 1 for 1. She's one of the 3 hits the Cowgirls have had so far tonight. Had a single back in the 2nd inning. Trying to give the Cowgirls base runners here in the bottom of the 5th. And she takes a strike. 2-0. Hitters pitch. How much green light and activity and conversation comes from the Cowgirl dugout at that point?
2-0, you definitely are looking to swing. That pitch honestly looked like a perfect pitch to swing at. It was down the middle pretty much and a little elevated. So definitely a good spot to be aggressive if you're a batter in that situation.
Kyra Aycock showing some defense in the bullpen out there. She had to get away from that one. It's strike 2, count 2-2. What about 3-0? Green lights? No. Let's see if she's losing it. What was the approach there most of the time?
3-0 is a little different because you're only 1 pitch away from getting walked, so you never want to get yourself out on a 3-0 pitch. But if it's right there and you're seeing the ball well, I don't think there's any harm in swinging at it if you're confident in that moment.
And is that fully in the realm of the hitter, or is that being called from the dugout?
I think.
I mean, do you remember swinging at 3-0s? Because I think I remember you throwing at some 3-0s.
No, I personally don't really do that just because I think the odds of getting walked are so much higher, and I was more of that player that tried to get on base as much as possible. So I think it just depends on the situation, you know, the game so far. Like, I don't think if it happened right now in this moment, I don't know if it'd be a good idea to swing because we need base runners here.
Sure,
but
and that's good discipline by McDonald to do exactly that as she draws the first walk by either team in this ball game. And the Cowgirls will use a pinch runner as they will bring into the ball game a young lady that gets a lot of time on the bag, Scotland David. And she will come over and will pinch run for Lexi McDonald, the right fielder.
Yeah, it's a great time to put some speed on the bases and try to steal some extra bags to get the first run in.
Cowgirls have 6 out of 7 steals in the lineup, and there's a little sacrifice, and that will move the runner over. That's exactly what you were talking about before. And again, in this situation, it is a little bit different with Bloodworth at the bottom of the order, simply because, again, we're getting late in the game, and you need somebody in scoring position to give yourself a chance to get that go-ahead run.
That's exactly right. And knowing how good of a bunter Megan Bloodworth is, she's constantly putting down sacrifice bunts for this team, moving runners, kind of doing the dirty works. They would most likely be able to get out of here with a win.
Poulard will try to slap it down and move the runner and advance to first, but it goes foul. She's lined out twice to left. Cowgirls would love to create a sack fly scoring situation here if they get the runner over with just one out. But it's going to require that or a base hit, obviously, by Poulard, who might get her an RBI and make it happen that way. That one is spun back out of play for strike number 2.
As a batter in this situation, you really want to be trying to hit a ball to the right side of the field, because even if you so happen to hit a ground ball towards second or first, the runner on second is still going to advance to third. So really trying to see something on the inner half for Jillian Poulard to try to get something out to center or right field.
And with that knowledge, Aguilar is probably going to throw things on the outside of the plate, right? Make it harder to pull. We've already seen Poulard go to the left side a couple of times. And there's the chess match, right? That's the batter versus the pitcher, and that's what makes this game so much fun.
Exactly, and now that she's up in the count 1-2, she kind of has more wiggle room to work on that outside half.
And that one is fouled back in the count. Will stay 1-2. Now you still have a few pitches left, right? You don't have to throw that perfect pitch right here, and see if you can get Poulard to
chase out of the zone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That ball, by the way, there was a ball. Apparently, there was a nick on it. We do have a new catcher. And if that's 20, I think it is 22, because Lauren Lucas is gone. No, that is Lainey Brown. No, it's not a new catcher. That is Lainey Brown. As that one is down and gets away. And so the Cowgirls get that situation we were talking about. Now all of a sudden the line out to left, deep to left, could still score one here.
Yeah, the catcher Lainey Brown does her best to block this ball, and it kind of unluckily just pops away, and Scotland David is able to advance on that one.
So the 2-2, she gets it. It's going to be close. Center fielder is in. The throw is going to be made, and no, she missed it. She missed the tag. The throw was in time, and let's see if Christy Bredbender will go to the review. She will. That throw was easily there. The only way that could have been safe is if she just absolutely missed the tag, and they say Scotland David was safe, and there would be the first run of the night for the Cowgirls. Can't wait to take a look at this one. That throw was way on time.
Yeah, that was a really great throw from the center fielder here. This ball is shallow, but Scotland David with a lot of speed, she's going to do her best to get around this tag. It's really hard to tell.
Listen, so she's there, the tag is there, but Scotland does such a great job of avoiding the initial tag, gets her hand underneath it, and that there may be simultaneous tag and plate touching, but the call is safe. I don't know that you can overturn this. That is as close as it gets, and what a job by Scotland David to avoid the initial tag, and what a throw by Barnard. It was there, but again, behind the plate, Brown, I think, just missed the tag.
Yeah, that was an almost perfect throw, I would say, from the center fielder there.
And did you see Brown's reaction? She threw the ball down, excited. Hey, we got the tag, moving on. And then, oh, wait, you didn't call that? What? And so now we await.
Able to squeak that run in. Well,
and that goes back to what you said, the speed on the bags. That's part of the reason why you make that decision, right, to get a pinch runner. And, you know, that's a very iffy call to send her, as shallow as it was, but you must have a lot of confidence. As we said, though, the throw was beautiful. The tag just swiped a little too early, and Scotland did a great job of avoiding it. And the Cowgirls have the 1-0 lead. There's a check swing to the pitcher, and Aguilar gets out of the inning, but not before the Cowgirls get the sack.
And just rolling through this Wichita State lineup these past couple innings here.
4 strikeouts in the last 7 batters, and she truly is doing a great job, as you said there, and just getting stronger as the night goes on. We go back to the top of the order. CeCe Wong, who's 0 for 2. Couple of ground outs, both to second. And there's a strike call on the appeal. She did go around, and the count goes to 1-1.
Wichita State definitely looking to capitalize with the top of their order coming up. You know, it's getting late in the game, so this is a good opportunity for them to get some runners on and hopefully score some runs.
There's a foul tip into the glove, and Wong can't hang on to it, but it's still a strike call. And so if you're Coach Bredbender, do you change your approach at the plate? Now that you've seen Lexi, you know who she is, you're down to your final 6 outs. Do you change your approach?
Yeah, I really think that Wichita State, as this game has gone along, we've seen them swing at pitches out of the zone. So I'm sure Coach Bredbender is, you know, really trying to get them to focus on swinging at pitches in the zone, making Lexi Kilfoyle work for these outs and not just giving them away.
Yeah, she doesn't need any help, and that is for sure. And you're right, they've swung. You mentioned it several times, that low ball right out of the zone, and that one's hit to Bloodworth, flipped to first, and Wong is out here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Lexi Kilfoyle just continuing to feed the defense as well. Her defense has had her back this whole game, so she's definitely going to keep doing that.
Cowgirls do have some activity in the bullpen, but right now, just in case, Lexi has pitched well enough to go the distance. If she can continue to go at the rate she has, only allowing 2 hits all night long. And runs that one outside off the plate to Addison Barnard, the center fielder, 0 for 2 with a fly out, ground outs. Still batting .312 on the season.
Kilfoyle is definitely going to be pitching around Barnard here, especially with only a 1-run lead.
That one she got to her, that's hit well into the wall, hit so sharply into the wall that she's going to be held to a single. That's a really good hit, but she's going to be held to a single because it came off the wall. And what a great job by Tim to play it off the wall and turn it, get it right back in there.
Yeah, Barnard here takes this off-speed pitch and waits back on, is able to drive it down the left field line, but Claire Tim bringing it in quickly to keep her on first and out of scoring position for now.
So 1 gone, 1 on, and again, that's, I think, a great example of what you were saying. Be patient, right? The changeup, wait on it. Don't be fooled by it, and great job there. Now that time, Solowski, or Solowchek rather, was trying to catch up to one, and Lexi just threw it right by her. 0 for 2 you saw there, including that strikeout. And she's behind here, 0-1. Don't have a lot of outs, need to make some hay right here, and they don't pinch run for Barnard because she's got good speed, and so leave her in there for herself, and she will take off, try to steal. They need runners, and underneath the tag. That was a little bit high and the tag a little late, and that's a good job by Barnard. She got a fantastic jump.
That's for sure. Coach Bredbender is definitely confident in her speed to steal with, you know, such a close game, and one of the only base runners they've had so far is kind of risky, but it paid off here for the Shockers.
She ended up with the stolen base, 3 for 3 on the season now. She is in a club all by herself now, is Addison Barnard. 70 home runs and 50 stolen bases. The only active player in the NCAA right now that can make that claim. It's a club that's a little lonely at the top. She's the only one in it. And the count goes full here. But a runner in scoring position for Wichita State. And I think if you're Wichita State right now, you're feeling pretty good just to be able to have this opportunity. You've struggled to get up in the scoring position. Finally you do, and you have a chance here with 1 gone. Here's the 3-2. That one is fouled into the dirt and out of the glove of Wong, so we'll play on. Solowchek is battled up here well.
And I think that's one of the most important things about having speed is you don't necessarily need to sacrifice runners over because they can get over there by themselves. And now they have a runner in scoring position with only 1 out, and that just gives them such a better opportunity to score.
Cowgirls moved from second to third on a wild pitch as that one's fouled back, and then that allowed for the sac fly situation, even though it was a very shallow sac fly and we had to play at the plate. But Cowgirls didn't have to sacrifice anymore as far as getting the runner to third. It was one of the few mistakes that Aguilar has made. Again, it was ruled a wild pitch. And right now, Lexi Kilfoyle is just coming right after Solacek, and she continues to battle as well. It's been a good AB here for her.
Solacek is making Lexi Kilfoyle work in this situation, and she's just fighting off pitches until she sees one that she can drive.
Lexi Kilfoyle, we talked about not going to wear a lot of emotions on her sleeve, but she throws that one, and that one misses, and that's the first walk issued all night by her. And runners at first and second. Let's see where this one came across at.
This is a great take by Solacek. That pitch is on the outside corner, and Lexi was going in on her continuously. So for her to lay off of that outside pitch, she had a great eye there.
Great take, and risky take when it's so close, but she made the right decision. And now there are runners at first and second with one gone, and Lexi just throws a strike in there like it's not a big deal. It's what I do.
Yeah, the only thing you can do after giving up a walk is to try to attack the next batter, and Lexi Kilfoyle is so good at that, just pounding strikes, getting ahead on these batters. That's what she's been doing all night.
Urban Bailey, the batter, and she takes ball one. Kyra Aycock has warmed up, so the Cowgirls do have a reliever if they need it. Urban is 1 for 2 tonight, had a single her last time up in the fourth. And she's got runners in scoring position, and runners in scoring position. She's batting .471. She's ahead in the count here, 2-1, and Kyra seems to be ready to go. Who knows what that conversation is, right?
Yeah, you just never know what they're talking about.
You know, you think it's high level, all softball all the time, but
probably not.
Probably not. Here's the 2-1. That one's fouled in the dirt. Count goes to 2-2.
We kind of talked about it earlier, the change in approach for these Wichita State batters. It seems like they're doing such a better job this inning, being selective with the pitches they're swinging at. They're taking really good cuts at pitches in the zone and laying off of the balls. Yeah,
you know, it's exactly what you just said. I mean, they're not swinging at those out of the zone, and they're fouling off those that are coming through the zone, and they've done a much better job, and they have forced this pitch count. I didn't notice coming in what the pitch count was in this inning, but it has gone up quite a bit here because, again, 1 out, full counts, and 2 runners on, and they've certainly made Lexi work harder right now than they have all night long. A single and a walk. And runners at first and second, and an off speed. Lexi can't hang on to it, and the throw. What a play! Bloodworth makes a throw, but not in time. It will be safe, and it's a heck of a play by Bloodworth. It didn't look like she had a chance at all, and then she made it into a play.
Yeah, the redirect off Lexi Kilfoyle's glove, and she almost had her. This was such a close play. Yeah, kind of just an unfortunate redirect there because Lexi Kilfoyle, you know, it's really hard to hit the ball at her and get on base. She is the...
They call her safe, so they do uphold it. And let's take a look at it again. I think if they called her out, it stays out. They keep the call because it's just so hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's just, because again, I think you're right. I think she's out. But I don't think there's enough video. It's us guessing rather than knowing, and you can't make a call, overturn a call based on that.
Exactly.
So that's a big call. Bases are juiced, 1 out, and the Cowgirls really going to have to work through some things here. There's a pitch right. Oh no, the throw not very good, and Wong couldn't hang on to it. Well done by Lexi Kilfoyle to collect it, throw, but she misses, and Wong had to reach for it, and the runner's going to be safe.
Yeah, Lexi Kilfoyle goes up and gets this ground ball. I think she was trying to get it to home as fast as she could so Caroline Wong could get that out at first as well, but just throws it a little too high, and Caroline Wong isn't able to catch that one.
So we are tied here in the top of the 6th. That's going to bring Carrie Everly out of the dugout to talk to Lexi. So Scotland David is now in right field for Oklahoma State. And we continue on here in the top of the 6th. This one has gotten interesting. Mila Seaton Davis bobbles the throw, comes home, and another run scores for Wichita State. They will give Seaton the RBI single. Let's take a look at this one.
Rosie Davis just bobbles this ball. She recovers quickly, but there's just not enough time to get that out at home, especially with Solacek being such a good runner at third. You kind of have to know that before fielding the ball, and most runners, I bet she still gets out there, but at that point, you just have to get the safe out at 1 after bobbling it.
We have a pinch hitter in for the Shockers. Tell you about her in just a moment. So 2 have run scored here to the top of the 6th, and Wichita State has battled back to take a 2-1 lead, and Sophie Johnson will pinch hit. Young lady out of Odessa, Florida, a freshman, takes strike 1. And that one misses off the plate, 1-1. So the Cowgirls still have out defensively with Wichita State with runners on every bag. 1 gone, 1-1 here, and they've given up 2. And the Cowgirls, they take away the single, and they go back with an error on the play on Davis, and I think that's because of exactly what you said. She didn't take the sure out. She still could have got the out at first, tried to come home, and because of that, the Cowgirls now have 2 errors. The score sheets are getting a little crazy around here right now. Lots of substitutions and changes in scoring as a count 2-2, and that one's fouled back. It's good at bat for Johnson. Here's a young lady that has not seen a lot of pitches from Lexi, and yet she's done the same thing you talked about. She's been pretty patient so far at the plate.
I'm sure her teammates have been relaying her information and kind of got her prepped before going up. You know, she's also been in the dugout watching what Lexi Kilfoyle has had success doing so far in this game. So that's also helpful for her to go up there knowing sort of what's been working and how she can adjust to have a good at-bat.
And here you are with bases loaded in a 3-2 pitch. And Lexi Kilfoyle for the Cowgirls, Sophie Johnson for Wichita State, 3-2. Fouled back. Again, great at-bat by the freshman.
Yeah, as a hitter in this situation, you know Lexi Kilfoyle is going to be throwing you a strike. Can't really afford to walk you here because then another run comes in. So I'm sure she's going to be swinging.
Again, the great chess match, right? 3-2. There's ball 4. That will bring in another run for Wichita State, and the Shockers trying to shock the Cowgirls with the 3-1 lead here in the top of the 6th.
This pitch, it looks like it just misses a little bit low, and they're able to capitalize on some of the defensive miscues that we've seen from Oklahoma State and get an additional run in.
Kyrie Cog back up pitching for the Cowgirls in the bullpen. A infield meeting amongst the Cowgirls as Kyra continues to warm up, and it would appear Lexi is going to stay in the circle again. lot of damage so far here. Lexi was coming right after them, getting ahead of the count, but it's fallen behind the last couple. Was so settled in.
Yeah, she is not missing by much. She is putting her pitches all around the zone, hitting the corners like she normally does. And some pitches are just not going her way.
There's a hit to Talon Edwards. The throw's in time, and the throw to first is not. So they get the runner coming home. They do not get the force at first, and the bases will stay loaded.
This is a good play by Talon Edwards to get this ball home as soon as she can, so Caroline Wong can turn it and try to get that out at first as well. And it's very close play again. I don't think Oklahoma State has any more challenges here, or else maybe we would see them challenging that, but a good play by Talon Edwards.
Absolutely, as that one is spun by Nelson, the third baseman. Grounded out a couple of times, and she starts out behind 0-1. And I think you're exactly right. I mean, how many close plays can you have in one game?
Yeah.
That was if there was a challenge left for Oklahoma State, they would have challenged that again. As the 0-1 misses 1-1. Cowgirl bats, they did score first, have done so in every single game, but they've got some work to do here now for the rest of the way as they trail it 3-1.
And all three runs are actually going to be unearned because of the two errors that we've seen, one on the throwing error by Lexi Kilfoyle and the other on the fielding error by Rosie Davis.
Always find that interesting, right? You help your ERA with your own error.
Yep. I'm sure that she doesn't want to have an error, though, since she has so much pride in her defense.
100%. And there is a third strike call, and Lexi Kilfoyle and the Cowgirls have some work.
Wichita State are so competitive every year. And, yeah, they just keep battling it out.
Cowgirls have been out hit 4-3. Cowgirls have 2 errors. That led to all 3 of those runs in the 6th inning. Claire Timms is 1 for 2 tonight. The left fielder batting .464. Would love to lead off here for Oklahoma State and get some base runners on board.
This is a great person for Oklahoma State to have up to bat. Claire Tim has such a good eye, and she's also such a good contact hitter. She has done so well this season at the top of the order, so Oklahoma State definitely hoping to get her on base and get some base runners.
Batting .700 as the leadoff hitter in an inning. And spins that one back for strike one. 2-1 the count. Aguilar has done such a really good job in this ball game. Sophomore out of Midland, Texas, Midland High School. And has kept the Cowgirls off balance all night long.
She's just been hitting her spots so well, locating the ball on all 4 corners. And I just think the Oklahoma State hitters don't know what to expect when they get up there. And she's doing a great job keeping them, disrupting their timing and, you know, mixing in and out, and it's been very difficult for them.
That one is hit to second. Wong will make the throw. It's a high. It keeps her, pulls her off the bag. Seaton can't keep her foot down, and that will lead to a error, I believe. And guess what? We're going to look at another one here as Coach Bredbender wants to talk it over, and ooh, I think she's got a point.
Yeah. I think she might have gotten her foot back down after jumping for that throw. But they're going to challenge this one, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, both teams now have exhausted their challenges, and I think we'll probably get another look at this one, but I think she was there. You know, as we go through the lineup multiple times and you start coming through, you've seen this pitcher over and over. If you haven't done well, you may not have great confidence, but maybe you feel like you've seen everything. What kind of confidence does a batter have after you've seen this pitcher a third time?
the more that you see a pitcher, the more confident you get in your approach and, you know, what you're seeing up there. So third time coming through the lineup, the Cowgirls know what to expect. And it's up to Alex Aguilar and the coaches to mix it up on them to try to keep them off balance. The third time is difficult, but you definitely get more confident the more times you see a pitcher because you know what adjustments you need to make from previous at-bats and you know what has worked for you in the past as well. So definitely a lot more confidence heading into the bottom of the sixth for the Cowgirls.
Well, and again, this would have been a big hit or big error, reached on an error, but I don't think it's going to stand, and that's just going to give Aguilar more confidence as they come out, and they will call her out as we anticipated they would. One more time, let's take a look at it. Pretty clear here. Give Seton credit. That's a great play.
Yeah, she goes up and makes a really good snag to get that out for the Shockers, and that's just one of the great things I think about having the review is, you know, sometimes it might not go your way, but personally I'd rather have it be right and be, you know, as fair as it can be.
Well, Coach told us you're not going to all pitcher, and let's see if that prep will pay off for them here. One out, and there's a called strike to the first baseman for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls, Carly Godwin. 1 for 2 with that single, which came in the fourth, and the Cowgirls down to their final 5 outs. They need base runners. There's that rise ball that came up out of the zone. Good job by Godwin not to chase it.
Yeah, I think it might be tough for the Oklahoma State hitters after seeing Aguilar this whole game so far, who throws mostly side to side and a little bit lower velocity, to switch over to higher velocity and just different spin. She's spinning the ball up. So after kind of acclimating to the previous pitcher, now you have to do a drastic change in your approach when facing Barber.
Yeah, I know, that's a great point. You mentioned the talent and the skill set of Aguilar, and it's totally different from what you're seeing right here. And 3 straight balls, 3-1 to Godwin. Good job by her, and Brown comes out to try to settle down the new pitcher. You know, I guess the only other bigger change might be facing a righty versus a lefty, right, where that ball comes from out of the circle. We've got a stoppage, and we had a pitch clock violation, and there may be your first one of the year.
Wow.
And that's going to be a ball, and that will be ball 4, and Carly Godwin is at first. If that is in fact accurate, and Brett Benner wants to talk it over. Again, this is so new to the game, and Brett Benner just puts her head down and says, I can't believe it.
Yeah, that is a first for me so far this season. I'm sure it's been called elsewhere, but it's just so uncommon.
So now they are going to rediscuss this, and whatever it was, we were just kidding. Carly come back, and the count will go back to 3-1. It looked like whatever they were telling Coach Brett Benner, she didn't like it and thought she was going to give up the walk. And now Kenny G is going to get them back together again. And boy, this game was on a lightning pace. I mean, it was moving. And we've had 4 challenges. Not very many, not a lot of scoring, but a lot of conversations between coaches and officials, and it has brought this thing to a skid. Garrett Knowles, Leah Dahm, and Terry Holt are officials. What do you make of all that?
Honestly, I'm not too sure what happened there. I don't know if they thought maybe it was an illegal pitch and that would have gave Carly Godwin a ball to get to first, or the pitch clock. But they brought her back. So.
Whatever it was, and the ball don't lie, says Carly Godwin as she spins one. And that's another long long single as that comes off the wall quickly, and Bailey's had a great night out there for the Shockers and makes another terrific play, getting it back in a hurry.
Carly Godwin definitely thankful that they brought her back to the plate so she could open up on this pitch on the inner half. Chloe Barber had kind of been hitting that spot a few times before, so I think Carly Godwin was ready to just open up and drive that ball into left field.
Great job there, and so the Cowgirls do have a base runner, and they've got a pinch runner now as they will bring on Sophie Page. And there's a young lady at the plate that could change this score, make it an even score with one swing as Caroline Wong steps to the plate, the catcher for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls, and takes ball one.
Such a confidence boost, I think, for the offense here that the first batter to go up and face a new pitcher leads off with a single.
Yeah, she roped that ball into left field. And Wong had a home run swing on there. Came up empty, and the count will go to 1-1. That was fouled back for strike two. Give this Shocker team credit. They came in shorthanded. Some players out for the year, some illness within the team. Didn't anticipate being able to get Chloe into the circle, but they did, and they have a 3-1 lead late in this one. That one's off the plate, 2-2. Terrific.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say terrific pace by Chloe. I mean, this young Barber throws hard for a freshman.
Exactly, and that I think is what has helped her so far with her success that she's had.
There's a flare into the gap, and the Cowgirls have runners at first and second, and all of a sudden the Cowgirls have 5 hits on the board, and they've got runners at first and second. Good job by Wong, gets one here.
Yeah, she, similar to the last at bat, you know, takes that inside pitch and is able to drive it out into left center for a single.
So the Cowgirls had 2, 3, 4 up. Now they've got their 5-hole hitter and Michaela Wark up. And we've got stoppages everywhere. Brett Benner's going to talk to the field. Pitching coach is going to come in and talk to Barber. And Kenny Gaiesi's going to talk to his batters, as is Vanessa Shippey, and Stacy's going to come over. So we got little conventions going on all over the field right now.
It's always good for when the opposing team starts to gain some momentum and get some runners on and starts hitting the ball solid. It's always good for the pitching coach to come out and just give the pitcher a break and kind of recollect and kind of just reset her focus and try to see what the plan is moving forward.
The Cowgirls continue to put speed on the bags. We'll tell you about that in a minute. Michaela Wark will have runners at first and second with 1 out and a chance for her to help her team out, trailing 3-1 here. Stacy giving some instructions over there to Macy Graff, young lady out of Aledo, Texas. We've seen her pinch run for the Cowgirls this season. Again, speed on the bags for Oklahoma State. Speed, and good job right there by Brown. That ball ended up way high. She had to extend. The runners could have moved up if she wasn't able to glove that and bring it back down. Wark takes ball 2.
Plays like,
excuse me, go ahead.
I was just going to say, plays like that by the catcher Lainey Brown are so important, because if these runners advance up another base, it takes away the double play for the Wichita State defense. And a
single scores 2, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it changes everything. So that And that won't show up in the stat sheet, but that was a heck of a play, no doubt about it, as Wark swings and misses on that one. And we talked about the confidence of seeing a pitcher and coming through the lineup 3 times. The confidence seems as high now as it has been for Oklahoma State against their ace who's come in to close out this game. But Wark has now gotten a couple strikes put up there on her, and the count is even at 2-2. Here it is, 2-2, swing and a miss. That's a big out right there for out number 2.
Yeah, Barber puts this pitch on the outside corner and gets Michaela Wark to kind of fish for it. I don't think it was in the zone, so gets her swinging on the outside half.
Big at bat right here for the Cowgirls, and runners at first and second, down by 2, and don't have a whole lot of outs left. As Rosie Davis, the second baseman, 0 for 2 with a strikeout, ground out, batting .431. .600 with runners in scoring position, and that one's fouled out of play, batting .643 with 2 outs. Again, obviously things changed. Tell me about your approach with 2 outs. Did it change your approach at all when you came to the plate?
Not too much, I would say, just because my thought process was always to try to get on base.
There's one that's hit sharply into right. That's going to land. It's going to score 1. It's going to score 2. And Rosie Davis has got a triple. And the Cowgirls have tied it up in the top of the 6th. What a hit by Rosie Davis.
What a job by Rosie to step up as a freshman and take this pitch into deep right center and get those RBIs for Oklahoma State.
2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. We are all knotted up at 3 apiece, and Rosie Davis has tied this ball game up. And Lexi McDonald would like to unchange that tie. She slides in there, and I got to be honest, that's not as much emotion as we normally see from a triple on a 2 RBI triple that ties the ball game up.
That was huge, and I didn't think that she was going to be able to get to 3 on that, but she was hustling, and there was a little bit of a bobble on that throw in to the second baseman Wong, and she was able to capitalize and get the extra base.
So the Cowgirls are in Wichita State are tied again. And the first pitch to McDonald, a little outside, 1-0. Lexi Kilfoyle finished the last inning. I think I'd be surprised if Kyra Aycock doesn't come in and close it out, but we'll see. Now the Cowgirls are thinking just get a go-ahead run. McDonald ahead 2-0 here. That one is called strike. 2-1 to McDonald. Barber looks in and just throws one right off the noggin of Lexi McDonald. Is it a surprise that Barber would throw one that was a close shave?
Wow, this one was just...
Wouldn't see Lott, would we? Possibly. She had a big pinch hit home run for the Cowgirls a few games ago. And now changes on the other side as well. And it would appear that Lexi Kilfoyle is going to come in, and she is going to pinch hit and hit for herself. And you and I was just asking you earlier if she will be hitting for herself this year. You said she might DH. I don't know how much she'll hit for herself, but this young lady's got a big bat.
For sure. She has done so well this year in her opportunities. She doesn't get a ton of at-bats, but she has so much power, and her presence at the plate is super intimidating. So I'm excited to see what she does.
So the Cowgirls have a new pinch runner. That's Tia Warsop over at first. Rosie Davis is at third, and Lexi Kilfoyle will come in. Out of Lando Lakes, Florida, batting .455. You know this roster and this coaching staff really, really well. Surprise you?
A little bit. I mean, Lexi is honestly a really great pinch hit option. She's so calm. She's so confident. And as you showed in her batting average so far, she's done well with her opportunities.
A stolen base, and Warsop tries to draw the throw so that you get the double steal, but the freshman Barber not biting on that one, and a 1-0 count. So bag open now at first. And a big cut by Kilfoyle. Is a called strike. So Kilfoyle behind the count here, 1-2 with 2 gone.
Yeah, Chloe Barber here is just going right at Lexi Kilfoyle and going to make her earn it.
As a pitcher, just always think you know what you ought to be looking for, and there's a check swing, and they're going to say she went, and that will be a strikeout for Lexi Kilfoyle. But
exactly, that last inning was really exciting. We had a lot of action.
Ivy Rosenberry will now come in. It was not Kyra Aycock as they had her up throwing, but it's Ivy Rosenberry who's 4-0 on the season. Number 3 in the country with a 2.4 ERA. She has been phenomenal, and she has been throwing very, very well for Oklahoma State, and she will try to close it out for the Cowgirls.
Ivy Rosenberry so far this season has just done so well. With all of her opportunities that she's had so far, really limiting offensive production with the teams that they have been facing.
And right there, throw Bloodworth, and there's out number 1 in the top of 7.
And that's a big out for Oklahoma State, as that's their leadoff batter, Cece Wong, who has just been going off recently. So to get her out and keep her off the bases is really important.
She batted, she led off the 6th inning, and she led off the 7th. It tells you the amount of success they had batting around in the 6th inning. And Addison Barnard, she was the 2nd batter then in the 6th, and she got a single. That was her only hit so far today, batting .327. Trying to get Wichita State base runners so they can regain the lead here. Fouls that one back into the net. Our microphones could hear that quite well, and the count 0-2. You know, tell me the difference between Ivy this year versus Ivy a year ago.
Ivy has so much confidence this year, and she's just been so competitive on the mound. I think last year she was still trying to find a groove with her pitches, and she's really found it this year, and you can tell.
3rd strike drop, throw down in time, and there is out number 2, and Ivy's coming out pitching really well.
Yeah, Ivy was just pounding the zone during this at bat and gets her to swing low on that drop ball in the outside half.
Good job by Wong after the initial drop to quickly pick it up, make the throw over in time, and 2 gone here in the top of 7. Solacek started in right field, now at shortstop due to the injury. And she is got it counted even at 1-1. That one fouled out of play. Solacek working that gum over. Smiling all at the same time. There's a called strike. Our statistician, Chris Dill, CD, cannot chew gum and smile at the same time. He can walk and chew gum at the same time, but he can't smile and chew gum at the same time. It's very difficult. 1-2. Fouled back. That walk she was able to get in the 6th led to a run. She was the first run scored in, actually the second run scored last inning. And there's a strikeout, and Rosenberry showing some emotion. Kenny G says he likes it when she shows emotion, and she's a run hitter and a pinch hitter in Katie Lott. What are the emotions right now of Chloe Barber?
She looks pretty calm out there. I would think that she's just going to attack these batters like she has all season. She's been so successful up to this point, and probably didn't even think she was going to go in and pitch today, but I'm sure she's just going to go at them.
Lott has a pinch hit home run on the season, and she will lead things off for the Cowgirls here in the bottom of the 7th, trying to keep this from going into extras. Batting .286. Runs inside, count goes to 2-0. It's his 22nd at bat of the season. Got 6 hits, 4 RBI. Not only 2 home runs, she also has 2 triples. That would certainly put some pressure on Wichita State. She's got terrific speed as well. And she takes strike 1.
Katie Lott, we've seen her in these situations so many times, in these high pressure pinch hit situations, and she always finds a way to have a good at bat, and I think that's why Coach G has so much trust in her in the bottom of the 7th to lead off this inning.
That one is fouled back. You know, when you were calling games, you were hitting, I always felt like you were going, and the reason I felt that way, because 1 out of 2 times you did get on base. Your on base percentage was 500 plus. It was amazing when certain players come to the plate, what your expectations are, and Katie Lott obviously going to be disappointed with that effort, but there are certain players that step in there and you just know they know how to make it happen, as we see this strikeout. Yeah,
Chloe Barber shows the off speed and places it perfectly. You don't want to put those off-speed pitches up in the zone where it's easier for batters to throw their hands at them. She locates it perfectly at the knee and gets Katie Lott to swing through it.
So the Cowgirls down to the last couple of outs, or we're going to extras here, and that one is hit sharply. It's down the right field line. Looks like it's going to just be in play, and what a job right there. Great job by Simpson to be able to come over. It almost came out of her glove. She snow-cloned it, hit the wall, and still able to hang on to it. That's a great play by her. It actually was maybe Mila Seaton out there now in right, and it is. And I mean, she just barely kept that in the top of her glove, and the Cowgirls have 2 gone in the bottom of the 7th. The Cowgirls down to their last out here. We will be going into extras, and not a surprise with these 2 teams. Claire Tim 1 for 3 with a single. The drama builds here in Stillwater. That one is spun out of play. Count even at 1-1.
We knew this was going to be a battle, but it just makes sense that we're going to, you know, tie 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. It just makes sense.
Well, again, last year's regular seasons, 8-7 was the final. Wichita State won it. And there was a 3-1 final. Wichita State won it. The Cowgirls came back and won Game 3, the important rubber match. And when it was played was certainly more important than the regular season. It was in the regional. Oklahoma State got the 6-0 shutout, but these 2 teams in the last 19 games since Kenny G has been here, 11-8, and there is the 3rd out, and we will go into extra innings. It's all tied up here in Stillwater on all comers.
Exactly. Wichita State continuing their tough schedule, especially in those midweek games versus like Kansas and Oklahoma, who obviously are in the Big 12 and very good competition for them.
Ivy Rosenberry starts with a strike here. The batter, Bailey Urban. And there's strike two as that one spun back. We saw a 3-pitch, 3-out inning the last time the Cowgirls played. And the Ivy's, the way she pitches, she could force a lot of action very, very quickly as well.
Ivy just continuing to do what she's done all year and just pound the zone and get ahead. And then kind of like we saw there on that outside pitch, it gives her more flexibility to throw some pitches out of the zone and try to get the Wichita State hitters to chase. And yeah, you're more likely to swing and miss if you're swinging at pitches out of the zone.
1-2 and got to leave it at 2-2. Good day for Bailey. You saw there she had 2 for 3 on the night, and good start for Ivy so far. Struck out 2 of her first 3 batters faced and got a ground ball as well. So nothing hit sharply so far by Wichita State. And there's a 3rd strike call, gets her 3rd strikeout of the ball game.
This pitch barely clips the lower inside corner. I think maybe earlier in the game we were seeing that maybe call it a ball, but as we keep going, I guess that one just caught the bottom right corner of the zone.
How much do you give Wong credit for sliding that hand back in?
Yeah, she does. She definitely helped her pitcher out there.
Framed it up a little bit, and first pitch here, a ball, 1-0 with 1 gone rather, and the crowd has stayed here on a midweek game in Stillwater. That one is hit into the backstop for a strike. Lanny Brown, the catcher, 1 for 3, single, sack, and an RBI. That one is hit, and Bloodworth unable to track it down. It'll sail into center field, and Brown gets her 2nd single of the ball game.
Yeah, this pitch is just on the outer half, and Lainey Brown kind of throws her bat out there and is able to poke it into center field for a single.
Talk about what this game does for these 2 teams. Obviously for Wichita State, this is a great regional win. It's a great win over a top 10 team. It's a resume builder. It's all of those things. And you're going to take this and build upon this effort tonight. If you're Oklahoma State, you didn't play well from the 2-error standpoint. You haven't had a great offensive night. You pitched it pretty well, but defensively, you kind of let yourself down. What does a win for Oklahoma State through a game like this do for a team in the Cowgirls?
I think it just shows like the fight in the team, and even though they have not been as sharp on defense as they normally are, they're still able to pick that up with their bats. And I think it shows that they're never out of the fight, and even after those 3 unearned runs in the top of the 6th, they were able to come right back and tie it up in the bottom of that inning.
Finding ways to win it no matter what is Mila Seaton. Strikes out, 2nd strikeout of the inning, the 4th already of 6 batters.
Yeah, this pitch out of the zone, actually almost in the other batter's box, but Ivy puts it in the perfect spot and gets her to swing and miss through that pitch.
Now batting number 23, Sophie Johnson.
And there's a called strike to the pinch hitter. She moved into the designated player role. Talking about Sophie Johnson. And she lets that one go. Let's talk about the opposite. What if you lose this game? What does that do to a team like Wichita State that's been so close tonight?
I think it just gives them that confidence. You know, I think for Wichita State, it definitely gives them that confidence that they can play and hang with, you know, Oklahoma State, and we've known that they could do that. But for Oklahoma State, I think it's just, you kind of just have to tip your cap to the other team and know they capitalized on your mistakes, and it's hard to win games if you make 2 errors and have unearned runs. So kind of just got to try to tighten that up, but errors are going to happen, and they know that. So it's all about how you respond with your bats when those errors do happen. So kind of just keeping that mindset that they're never out of it, no matter what.
2-2. Just misses. The crowd wanted it, didn't get it, and the count will go to 3-2. Yeah, I think it'd be a bigger loss for Oklahoma State, right? If you lose this one at home to Wichita State, it's not like it does anything to your season, doesn't railroad your season, but I think there might be a little more frustration for letting this one get away if you're Oklahoma State. That one is hit to Poulard. She will camp underneath it. Line shot, and the runner on, but they'll leave that runner on in the top of the 8th. The Cowgirls have a chance to win it again. We go to the bottom half. Chloe Barber credit. She has come in as that freshman, and so far she's done a fantastic job. But back in a pressure situation, as her offense didn't give her any room to operate. There's no wiggle room right now to Carly Godwin and company.
It seemed like Chloe Barber really started to settle in the bottom of the 7th. You know, right when she came out on the field, she gave up those 2 singles back-to-back, and ever since that, she's been lights out.
You're exactly right. She gave up a couple of singles, but she's been sitting them down ever since. And Godwin starts out behind here. Got a hold of that one as she spun, but hit it foul. And will fall behind 0-2 here. That one is a good shot, and that's going to be a hit and a single and another long single, but on the throw, it went back, and she came too far. They missed the cut, and Godwin very wisely recognizes it and gets it into scoring position.
This 0-2 pitch, off-speed pitch, is just a little too much on the plate, and Carly Godwin able to smoke that ball out to left center and capitalize on the overthrow.
Yeah, they missed the cut. She saw it. That's a great job right there, boy. We have seen both teams hit the ball so hard, could have been easily been doubles, right? But the ball caroled off the wall so quickly that it wasn't. But on the missed throw, then Godwin is in there at second. The Cowgirls have a chance here in the bottom of the 8th. And on the overthrow, wild pitch, the Cowgirls now have a sac fly situation to win a very tight ball game. And there may be the nerves of the freshman, right? They will have a meeting in the circle and make sure she stays calm. She's pitched so well, we talked about it, settling in a little bit, but right now Chloe Barber out of Lino Lakes, Minnesota, White Bear Lake Area High School. And it's a good call by her teammates to get her to calm down a little bit and go back to work.
Yeah, especially with a hitter like Caroline Wong coming up, who we know has so much power and is very experienced. She's a 5th-year grad transfer this year. Definitely want to try to calm down and refocus before going to attack her.
Throws one off the plate, so the wild pitch allowed Godwin to advance from second to third, and that one's off the plate, so it's 2-0, and anything through the infield here wins it. The infield is in. Wong at the plate for the Cowgirls. That one is hit foul back over the backstop. How aggressive are you if you are Godwin right now at third on anything hit on the ground?
You definitely want to make sure it gets through the infield. It's just, you have 2 outs well, 3 outs, I guess, to get this run in. So unless there's 2 outs, I would be very sure that the ball is in the outfield before running home.
Again, a sac fly situation is very much in play. The infield's in, so if you can get something hit hard and make it difficult to field, be very sure if you're Godwin. And there's a strikeout as Wong chased it, and that's strike number 3.
Chloe Barber doing what she does best and using her rise ball on the outer half. Caroline Wong just swings right underneath that pitch.
Number 12, Michaela Ward.
So Michaela Wark in the designated player role tonight. We've seen the squeeze on the diamond at O'Brate not so long ago. How risky is Kenny G?
I don't know if we have the right base runners to do that in this situation.
That one is turned, and is it in? They're going to say it is a foul ball. Holy smokes. Michaela Wark absolutely tortured that ball, and it just curved, and if it's out, it's barely out. That ball was, when it was bending, it looked like it bent inside the pole and then drifted foul.
So hard to tell because she hit the ball so high.
And so quick off her bat, right? I mean, man, that ball was absolutely crushed. One of the hardest hit balls we've seen here at Cowgirl Stadium. Stays alive with that one, fouls it back, count 1 and 2. And Kenny Gajewski knows that that was a home run swing and looks at her and says, hey, calm down, play within yourself. I don't need a home run. I just need to hit one hit in the outfield. Man, she crushed that ball. The 1-2, and there's another strikeout. And the Cowgirls lose the sac fly situation here. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, this pitch again on the outer half. I think Coach G just wanted Michaela Wark to settle down a little bit and try to, poke that ball opposite field just for a single, or try to hit something on the ground. It looked like maybe she was trying to pull that ball into left, try to get under it a little bit, but yeah, Barbie able to get the strikeout there.
Rosie Davis had the 2 RBI triple that tied this ball game up in the bottom of the 6th, and she has a runner at third, a chance to get her 3rd RBI of the night and win this ball game. Count even at 1-1. Crowd grows restless.
Lainey Brown made a really good stop on that ball in the dirt to prevent Carly from scoring.
Here's the 1-1. Up and away. Cowgirls look like they're going to pinch hit if Davis is able to get on and doesn't score the run, which will make me wonder how they're going to handle pitching to her here. They go at her right there. It will be Warsop, who came in and stayed at right field earlier tonight for Lexi McDonald. Right now, larger pressing issue is Rosie Davis, the second baseman. 2-2-2. Get through the infield, and the Cowgirls get the go-ahead and the game-winning RBI by Rosie Davis. She had 3 of the hits late, and the Cowgirls are going to win it 4-3. Now that's a heck of a win by the Oklahoma State